Welcome back to Adobe Live. This is day 2. My name is Melody. I'm your host, and I'm here with Ainsley Wagoner, and we are going to be, she'll be designing this week. Thank you to everyone in the chat for joining us. Hello, Eric, Tim, Voodoo Val. Thank you guys for being here. So we have a great week of designs for you this week, and then also we are running the XD Daily Creative Challenge. So if you've been participating in that, definitely share what you have worked on so far with us. Today at the end of our stream, we're going to be looking at the prototypes. So if you have any auto animate on your music player app, which is the app that they've been working on. Yes. So today they'll be working on using auto animate, voice prototype, or overlay. So if you have been working on that and you want feedback, please submit that to our stream, and then we will review it at the end and give you some feedback on that. So I'm really excited to see what everyone has come up with. We had some great ones earlier this morning with Jennifer. And then we'll also be doing a daily chat and win in about 30 minutes. So everyone in the chat, if you just want to participate, type something, ask a question, you can win this hardcover notebook from Moo. So it's an awesome prize. You just have to be active in the chat and you have a chance to win. So that'll be coming up in about 30 minutes. So yay! So we can turn over to Ainsley and see what she has planned for us today.
Sure. So I'm excited for day 2. I learned a lot yesterday just about what it's like to sort of be a designer and talk about your work at the same time. I think probably a lot of you all who are joining us are also designers, and it's a whole different ball game to kind of be talking about what you're doing as you're doing it. So yesterday what I did was kind of introduce the project, which is working on basically a style guide and brand system for a style coaching business that I'm working on as a freelance project. Oh, a reminder for anybody who is just joining today, I'm a designer here at Adobe. I work on XD, and then this project is something that I am doing in addition to my Adobe work to keep my different design skills sharp. And so we looked at the project brief. I have a lot of really good material from the client already about what types of colors she's using, what her kind of mission statement is, and the things that she wants. So we're going for, first of all, like a general brand style guideline. So we worked a lot yesterday on a type stack, both for print and for web. So I was kind of walking through my process of choosing a basic paragraph body type size, and then from there kind of abstracting a vertical grid to choose my other type sizes. So that's kind of what you see here is like the beginnings of that I was working on yesterday. Over here is all my different inspiration for a style guide, kind of what we're going for. And then I think at the end of yesterday, I think I began doing something like this where I was taking some of those type styles and then applying them to a worksheet. Yeah. Right after I got off air, I sort of cleaned up my assets panel over here. I like put the colors in order, and then went back and cleaned up the different character styles I had added to the assets panel, and then just continued to make tweaks to this, the type
looks really good.
Thank you.
Did you end up getting the wider weight for the font, because you were saying that you wanted it to be like thicker?
Let me see if I did. I did go back and I downloaded, so from the Type Foundry, I could, you can download like the whole suite of the typeface as a test font. But if you're going to really use it in production, you need to buy it. And I think, I definitely did that, but I think I'm still maybe using, this black italic might not be one that Elise has bought, but I think but actually I have to check. She's bought a couple of them. One of them is like a similar kind of like really bold italic like this. Cool. But after we were designing together yesterday, I think I bumped up the size even more because I just really want there to be a big contrast between the body text. I just imagine using this font to the max, basically, because we both really like it, and I think that it captures a lot of the essence of what she's going for. I also was playing with color palette, and that's something I want to start doing a lot more today. I think yesterday I was using a lot of navy typeface, and that's what Elise is currently using on her website as the wordmark logo. But I really was more drawn to this kind of warmer burgundy tone, just because that that really reminds me of her, and then that lends itself to. I'm kind of interested in exploring like a little bit of a monochromatic palette. Is that the right word?
I think so.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. Not monochromatic, but where you have like one color and then shades of that. Yeah. Analogous color scheme.
Okay, nice. I forgot that word too.
So I'm kind of interested in that as a way to use different colors, but not have it feel all over the place. Yeah. So someone's asking me where my white XD logo is. I actually took that off on purpose because I felt like it was distracting. And so he's referring to, yesterday I had down here in my toolbar like an icon for a pre-release version of XD, which I use sometimes internally, and other people can get on to sort of test out the build one version before it goes public.
Tareem is asking if XD is for free, and yes, you can download a free version of XD, which is awesome, to help you get started. And then it's also included in the Adobe Creative Cloud subscription, so if you have that, you can download XD as well. Yes.
Okay, so I feel like I took this as far as I could without starting to apply it, and so then I started to apply it, and I started putting the type stack into kind of like a fake worksheet that I was just using lorem ipsum for. And I just started playing around, and then also kind of like applying maybe the web type styles to a different sheet just to see what that looks like. And so I'm gonna actually turn off the layout grid really fast just to sort of see it without. So this is like what I kind of did after hours, and I didn't want to do too much, but I felt like I wanted to quickly sort of clean up the work I had been doing, then make some adjustments after yesterday. So I think what I want to do before I go any further is like bring in a lot more inspiration photos. So Elise and I have collaborated on a Pinterest board of things that I kind of took a stab at, like, I think this is what you're going for, this reminds me of you, and the styling work she's done so far on her Instagram and on her blog, which is elisestyled.com. I think it's right here. So this is again kind of a Pinterest board that I put together of people that she's really inspired by, of other brand systems that I think captured some element of what she's going for, whether that's the color palette or the way, the proportion of shapes and typeface. So I'm gonna kind of pull some of that in, as well as I have lots of pictures of Elise's kind of styled shots and some other materials that she's made. So I'm gonna just pull those things into my canvas now and then see what that sparks. Hi, Victoria. Looks like you're just joining. I'm Ainsley, and this is Melody.
I'm Melody.
I'm designing a style guide for a personal style coaching business. And so that's going to include a style guide, worksheets, business card, an Instagram story template, and other kind of like mobile assets, which I will get into in a little bit. So let's see if I can kind of show off one of my favorite XD features, which is dragging things from Chrome. Oh, whoops. Something is funny here.
Are you usually able to, like, if you see an image on Chrome, you can just drag it and then bring it into XD?
Yes, and that's not the problem right now. There's something kind of funny happening with my with
Pinterest?
maybe Pinterest or my internet connection. So I will, in the meantime, drag some things from my desktop. And maybe I can
having internet issues?
I think I'm okay now.
Okay now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You can always change networks.
So here's, I think I regret this already. I'm going to make a repeat grid and then drag it into there. That'll be a whole lot easier. Because those images started looking really big.
I haven't actually tried dragging pictures in from Chrome. I usually do, like, if I download the picture and then I have it like in my Finder, I'll like drag it that way. But that's cool that you like take it from Chrome as well.
Yeah, I found that out actually recently. Just the same way that you can from. Okay, great.
Yay. Shay is asking if that works with all browsers where you drag the image into XD, or if it's just specifically for Chrome.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. We can see if it works from Safari. I always use Chrome, and so I'm a little bit. I have tunnel vision in that way. So let's see. I'm gonna drag that in.
Ooh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Drag this in.
Chris is saying it doesn't work from Chrome anymore.
Oh. Interesting.
Maybe it's...
Tell us more,
Yeah.
Chris. I think it's maybe an issue with Pinterest because it's loading really slowly on Safari as well, but that's fine.
Oh, Mel is saying that it worked for them with Safari.
Oh, great. Okay, then I won't even. I will take your word for it, and that's good.
Hi, Oleg. Thanks for joining us again today.
Yay! I hope that you're gonna submit again to the
Yeah, you
Creative
should
Challenge.
submit again.
Alrighty.
Michael and Kristen are also saying that it works for them on Chrome, and
Okay.
Raphael too, so
Great.
it's good to hear.
So this is kind of fun. Oh, my browser is really acting
no.
kind of funny. I like that I can do this with repeat grid. Like
That's
I can
so
have
cool.
all of my inspiration images. I know that there's ones in here that I particularly am drawn to, but I think even just having this is nice. Like just as a tableau. So I really liked this. We both kind of liked the way that there were different shapes and big but thin type. Let's see what else I can get. Oh gosh. Hello, Austria.
Oh, cool. We have someone from Brazil also. That's awesome.
Let's see. Ooh, I love this.
That's so cool.
I want to kind of play with that as a layout. Okay, I'm gonna just have to keep coming back to that. So another thing I wanted to do and just make for myself is, I know that we both really want to play, me and Elise are really interested in like the contrast of big shapes and type. So I am gonna jump over to Illustrator, and I have made already a library, a Creative Cloud library of the the colors. And the more I kind of play with and apply these colors, I know that I want to tweak them just a little bit. I think it's a really perfect start, but I can already tell that I want something that's gonna make this all feel crisper and have elements that are kind of like standing out more. And so I'm going to find ways to kind of tweak that as I go. So maybe I'll sort of take this just as something to draw over. And this is a little bit hard to do without a stylus, but let's see if I can get better at that.
Oleg is saying to do Control J to join the path.
Yeah, I actually did do that. Command J. Thank you for the shortcut tip.
Would you say you go to Illustrator often when you're working on design projects?
Yeah, I would say that. I think I like XD as a kind of home base where I can move really quickly and just there's certain tools that I find to be kind of like power features that let me work really quickly. But then I still will sometimes want to draw something like this, and it's hard to do that in XD.
Yeah, that's true.
So let me go in and subtract some paths and clean that up. I think I'm kind of getting the hang of it now. You were saying that you use Illustrator a lot, right?
Not like that much. Actually, I've been trying to practice making like icons in XD and like doing that
Nice.
work on XD, and it's actually a great tool to do that on XD as well, so you can kind of do it all in one place, but I need to practice my Illustrator skills a bit more, but because there's a lot to like learn and get used to. But yeah, I like watching the live streams where they work on Adobe Illustrator, like the graphic design ones.
Yeah.
It helps me like learn some of the tips and tricks, but I think Illustrator is great if you want to like fine tune the visual designs or if you want to add any illustrations, but I'm not really good at doing that, so I try, but yeah.
I can get really, really deep into an Illustrator workflow.
Nice.
I'm gonna just peek at some of my inspiration again. Let me see if it's letting me drag yet. I think I just have to do this little by little.
For anyone in the chat, I'd like to know where you guys find your inspiration when you're working on your design projects, because Ainsley's using Pinterest, and I think that's a great way to grab inspiration, but if you guys use anything else, please let us know. I like to go on Behance or Dribbble or Pinterest, and even Instagram. There's a lot of great designers on Instagram, so I like looking at their designs as well and just being inspired.
Yeah. I feel like I follow a lot of poster designers on Instagram that I really like.
Nice. Kita is saying graffiti art. Nice.
Oh yeah, this is one that I really liked.
Elza says Pinterest, Behance, Dribbble, and awards with 3 W's. I don't know how to pronounce that. But for web inspirations. Nice. Ooh, designnotes.co has a lot of good inspo sites. Thank you, Melissa. I'll have to check those out.
Okay. This is not exactly everything, but it's like a lot of things that I had looked at and kind of chatted with Elise about liking. So
There's siteinspire.com, Behance and Muesli, and Google. Can't forget Google.
I like Site Inspire.
I haven't been on that yet. Also print magazines for different layouts and color choices. Ooh, that's a good idea. Thanks, Alexandra.
Oh, that's kind of fun. I kind of like how that's coming out.
What are you making on this page?
Just like letting myself kind of get even bigger, I think, and like broader strokes.
Okay.
Just continuing to make shapes, because what I'm going to do is pull these back into XD and just have like things to play with. I will probably definitely refine these, but I just want something to work with for now. I already...
Carrie is asking, what is happening exactly?
I am just drawing some shapes in Illustrator to use in the brand style design, because we know that we want some playful big shapes in this style guide.
So Shay's asking how you're filling in the shape so quickly. What's the keyboard shortcut?
Oh, that's a
for
good
that?
question. What I'm doing is Shift X, which if you watch over here, it switches the stroke and fill.
Oh, okay.
So I just have an object selected, and then I'm switching it from having a stroke and no fill to having a fill and no stroke. So Shift X. I think that should be the same on Mac and Windows.
Elza is wondering if you use color psychology when you're designing for particular branding.
Psychology? I think that is maybe kind of like incorporated into the way I approach color in general. So just from the standpoint of I know the way this brand, I know the way that Elise wants this brand to feel, which is sophisticated but accessible. It's polished and like kind of refined but still warm. And so that boils down into a color palette that is has some tones, but they're sort of muted.
Yay, nice. Ooh, it's chat and win time, yay! So everyone in the chat who has been active, if you haven't said anything yet, say something, let us know where you're watching from, or if you have any design questions, let us know, and you can have a chance to win this Moo notebook. Yay! We will be right back. Yay, we're back! So everyone in the chat, the way that you can win is just by being active. So if you have asked a question or said hi or something, you're already in the running to win this Moo hardcover notebook. And this one has flat lay technology, which is really cool. And then it has some color pages spread out through the middle. It's really nice, and whoever wins gets to pick their color of notebook that they want to receive. So, yeah. Hi, Matthias, Susie, Wera, Tareem, Valder. Oh, we have a winner! Melissa Milloway. Yay!
Yay, Melissa.
Congratulations. Thank you for everyone in the chat for being active and participating and asking us questions. And congrats to Melissa. You'll be receiving one of these notebooks in the color of your choosing. Yay.
Sweet. Congrats.
Congrats.
Okay. Oops. So I'm still just like kind of adding on to these shapes. Is everyone working on their submission to the Creative Challenge?
Yeah, I hope so. If you guys don't know, XD is running a daily creative challenge this week, and it started from last week. But if you haven't started yet, you can still get started. There's no pressure or anything. But if you have been working on them, today we are taking submissions for the prototype phase. So if you have your final designs ready to prototype and you're adding auto animate or voice prototypes, interactions, you can submit that on behance.net/live under the challenge tab, and then Ainsley and I will review them at the end. So I'm really excited to see what you guys have worked on. We had some great submissions this morning and some really good ones yesterday. So I'd love to see how far you guys are coming along. Yeah, it's a really fun challenge because you're starting from like the beginning. So building a music player app, doing the design system, wireframes, user flow, and all of that fun stuff. So it's really cool to see it all come together at the end. I'm excited. And it's a great piece to add to your portfolio as well, because it's like kind of like a full project, and you can really see your thought process during each step. So highly recommend, if you haven't started the daily challenge, you should.
Okay, so I'm pulling in my shapes over here, and I think what I want to do now, I mean, this is just like, if I keep being drawn to the idea of pebbles, like really big pebbles or flagstones, like fitting together and playing with the scale of that. I think Elise and I are both really drawn to like a larger scale, so like definitely shapes, but almost like stretched across like big portions of whatever canvas we're using, or I almost kind of want to play with like having them be overlapping the edge.
Ooh.
So I think what I want to do now is jump to another, here's my notes for things I want to do today. So I've done some of these. Bring in inspiration photos. Check. Play with color palette. Not quite yet, but start to play with shapes. I want to kind of look at a mobile template that Elise might use to kind of share her content and or use for her clients to kind of go through and do a summary of their sort of particular brand. So I'm gonna start that below here. Let's do So we're gonna call this a client style profile, and this is something that Elise will use and has already used in workshops she's done to kind of have somebody walk through their particular style inspiration and kind of like put it into a framework. So I have some notes from her, which is that this client style profile, it's going to be like a mobile size screen. It's going to have an intro with maybe some like element, maybe you have shape, plus a photo, plus their name. So we need kind of a template that'll accommodate that. And then an all text slide. So like giving a text template for that. And 2 to 3 photos with different sort of traits describing that style. So I'm gonna bring back my trusty grid, and this is recommending a 4-column grid. So let me think about that for a second. This one we're working with 6. It almost makes me want to do 3 here. Just to stay with something that's divisible by 3. Okay. So maybe I'll pull down some of these shapes and have them next to me over here. I'm gonna make this a little bit fainter.
I didn't know you could change the color of that.
Yeah, so I just
cool.
came over to the layout and clicked on this
Nice.
color picker. And so
That's
now I
helpful.
can almost barely see it.
Yeah, I always find when I turn it on, like, it's hard to not be distracted by it when I'm designing, and then I'll like turn it off, turn it back on. But I think doing that is a great way to still keep that while you're designing and not be like overpowered by it.
Yeah. So Oleg is suggesting margin 16, gutter 8. All right. Well, I can't really make the margins on the outside 16, but maybe 36. And then the excess is actually 37, so we'll go with that. I sort of can't see this very well. Okay, so the first thing is gonna have an element plus a photo plus a name. So let's just start throwing it on there.
Roman is saying, watching these streams make my day go by quicker at work. Yay! We're glad we can help that go by quicker.
Nice. And I'm gonna use a photo of Elise as an example. I'm gonna pull, oops, oh, not all of them, just this one. I'm gonna pull in this one. I like this photo of her.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I like how she styles the pictures too, and like she has the like clothing rack next to her. It's so cute.
So let's see this. So I have this kind of like peanut type thing. And then I want this to not be so, I want it to almost like be a little bit transparent, but then I sort of want to change that color. I'm going to go ahead and add the name along the side. So I might just start with one of my type styles and then see how that goes. So I'm going to add her name. I think this is already the page title. Okay, good. That's the page title size for print, and then this is for web. Let me see if this is just way too big. If I maybe like turn it sideways. Like that's kind of fun, but I think if you had a name that was longer, that would already kind of go off the, that would be too big. But I like that. So maybe it's more like this size. And so I'm just trying different weights. I'm going to change this back to Elise, although I do really want to test a longer name. Let's see. I'm going to start like making multiple versions of these. This is the way I work, is like very iteratively. And I just like pull out tons of different versions, and then I look back at my work and decide what's working, and you all can chime in and say what you like as well.
Yeah, I like to do that too. Just make a bunch of like versions of the same thing kind of, but just changing little things here and there, and then you can kind of like zoom out and look at all the different artboards and see which one kind of stands out, and you can use different elements from each artboard that you really like on this one, but maybe it doesn't go with the other things, so it's a great way to get started in this stuff.
So this is what it looking like, kind of having it left aligned, like with that shape. I'm not quite happy with that white text, although it's a really good option.
So Beck has a question for you, Ainsley. How much would you charge a client for just the designing of an app? So they've been asked to do an app design, but they don't know how much they should charge.
Well, that's a hard thing, and especially because I kind of have a day job, and then when I'm asked to do freelance things, I'm like, what's my rate? It's been a while, and I don't know exactly if I would relate it to my salary, but I think the best way to go about it is always to think about what your rate is, how much do you want to charge per hour, and then start to make estimates about how many hours it would take you. So to design an app, like that's a lot. So I think I can't give you a straight answer because I don't really do that type of client work right now. But I bet you there are resources out there on the internet around like what someone's charging.
Yeah.
And then if you have an idea of how much time it would take you to design an app, I would base it off of that. If this is your first time doing it, then I think you want to maybe throw out a conservative rate and a conservative estimate of how long that would take you. Yeah, sorry, I don't know exactly, but
I think that's really good advice.
I would charge a lot, and I think you should too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Matthias is saying to watch The Future on YouTube, and The Future has a great YouTube channel. I don't know if you've ever watched any of their videos, but they have really great tips on like how much to charge and like the business side of design. So if you want to do freelance, it's really helpful. So I would definitely recommend that. Thanks, Matthias, for bringing that up. Oh yeah, and Roman is saying Chutzpah, the Hood sisters, they were just on the live stream and they talked about that and gave good advice. Thank you,
cool.
Roman, for bringing that up. Yeah, I would definitely check out their videos. They're so talented and they gave really good advice during their streams. I watched like most of them. But
Nice.
yeah.
So I'm just now kind of gonna play with shapes, and I want to, I really like a sort of overlapping thing happening. I like that one. I wonder if I could try what this would look like. No, I think down low is probably good because a lot of people's face and like the bulk of their outfit's going to be up high. Maybe I can play with something that's the outline and not just like a solid color shape. Huh, there's something kind of interesting about that. Not exactly the way I've done it, but maybe even opposite of this. Like if there's a bigger shape that's the line, and then a smaller shape that's filled in. Let's see. Yeah, there's something kind of fun about that. Whoops, that's like the ugly side of my shape. Let's hide that again. Like it never happened. And then maybe here I can kind of play with that idea of the analogous color palette that I was saying. I don't know. Yeah, a really interesting discussion happening on
Yeah.
the chat.
About like how much to charge for projects and stuff.
Yeah.
So will you show Elise these like iterations that you're creating right now, or would you choose like, I don't know, like top 2 or top 3 and see what she thinks?
I would definitely narrow it down. Although I think, you know, since I'm doing this, she can see the whole process. But yeah, I don't like to ask someone to make a decision out of more than 3, because I feel
That's
like the work of choosing is mine, or the work of like, you know, doing the design but then narrowing it down to what I think the best options are. That's my job. So no, I would not show her like all of these iterations.
Cool.
I used to do that when I was a younger designer, because I think it made me feel good to see all my work laid out, to kind of like show my client or my teacher or whatever, like, look at all, you know, like I worked.
Yeah.
But that's not really what they're interested in. Like
That's true.
of course I did my work.
Yeah.
It's more about showing them kind of the best options.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And if you can overwhelm them with too many options and they won't know which way to go, but you're kind of like the expert on this, so if you choose like 2 or 3, I think that's pretty good, and get their feedback and maybe make more changes if you need to, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, so I'm just bringing back my grid to like kind of check the alignment. I think I want to kind of align it maybe to the left, maybe to the right. And I do think I will have to make that type a little bit smaller. Just, I'm trying to think of a long name. Oh yeah, thanks for the +1s, you all.
Yeah, Voodoo Val is saying that she read that offering someone more than 3 options actually makes things more difficult.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm doing this all really quickly, but there's something about this one that I am liking. You all can feel free to tell me like which of these you feel like are working. I know it's not that different, but there's something about this direction that I'm starting to like, because there's room for the name, it's at the bottom, and there's like shapes and kind of like a stylistic element, but one of the shapes is semi-transparent, so you can see through to the outfit, and one of them is just a line. And so I'm liking that. I'm maybe like overthinking it too. There's something pretty successful about this one, I think, too, just like a simple shape. So I might try another one of those.
Yeah, I like the transparent because you can see her shoes.
Yeah.
And I feel like I love shoes, so I like seeing like shoes on an outfit.
Val said too.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. I think that seeing the full outfit is important. I'm just gonna try some crazy things. I feel safest putting something in, putting these elements in the bottom. As much as I want to try everything and try all corners, I just think that it's likely that the focal point of the picture is going to be up high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liking the stroke and fill combos. Good. Cool. Thank you. Somebody says they like 2 and 4 most, Osama. So I'm guessing that's this one. Yeah. There's something that I definitely miss about that. Like it's an interesting enough shape. It's on the corner. Let's sort of bring that back, but do a left side version. I think I want the shape to be a little bit more kind of have a little more interest to it than this one.
There's about 31 minutes left to get your design submitted. If you've been working on the XD Daily Creative Challenge, get those submissions in. You can find out more information on the challenge under the challenge tab on Behance. And yeah, if you're almost done, you have about 30 minutes left, you can submit them, and Ainsley and I will review them and give you some feedback towards the end of our stream.
I'm going to use this cream color. I haven't been using that much.
I like that color a lot.
Yeah, that's feeling good. I'm going to kind of play with this for a second. Making this much bigger. Making it like smaller. And now I want to I like the ones that do have a little bit of a stretch up the side. So I might even try to draw like a custom, trying a stroke type on a filled shape. That's a really good idea. I'm going to try that right now. Thank you.
Osama has made that suggestion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I wonder if I can do that. I have to remember the shortcut for outlining type. I know there's a way to do it. Okay. Object. Path. Convert to path. Okay, and then now if I do this. Oh yeah, that's kind of fun. Oh, yeah, I like that. The cream color looks, yeah, I agree. I think what I am missing a little bit is like a blend mode. Like I wish I could have kind of like a multiply blend mode in here.
Yeah. Hopefully that is something that'll come out in XD, because I've heard people talk about blend modes, and I think it would be awesome to have that. If you guys have any features that you want XD to have, there's a great resource. It's user voice. I think it's uservoice.adobe.xd or the other way around.
Yeah.
But that's where you can go to submit any feature requests, or if there are any on there that you really want to be on XD, you can like upvote, and the XD team really looks at those and takes
It's true.
Yeah. So.
And blend modes has a lot of votes.
Yay.
And it is something we are aware of.
Yay.
All right, I think now I'm going to try a bunch of different versions of this.
Yay.
So I'm gonna try like other kind of photos and then other names.
Well, thank you, Val, for sending the link. It's adobeXD.uservoice.com.
Oh, nice. Okay, so I'm gonna use your names from the chat. So I'm gonna use Matthias, and like already that's too long. So I am going to make this a character style in the assets panel, and I'm gonna call it client style, client profile name, and just save that, and then I'm gonna edit it and make that smaller. So I know that I'm gonna need it to be, let's bump it down to 64. I think that's not even enough room, so I'll do 56 for now and sort of see what that gets us. And then I just want to make a bunch of different versions of these. And like, I think what I would like to come out or like deliver to her is maybe like 3 different shapes and 3 different color combos. So I'm digging the cream with the outlined burgundy.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. I'm gonna kind of make, oh, I guess I didn't even have to outline the type, but I did show you all the way to outline type.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that. I was gonna ask if there is a difference in how it looks, because every time I've accidentally done the border on text, it looks like kind of weird. And I'm like, what? But maybe because it was small, but I feel like the outcome is the same, right? Or I don't know.
It does look relatively the same. I'm sure it's just a matter of it's easier to, it's what you want to do next with it.
Yeah.
So if you have a name that's outlined and then you want to easily kind of like scale it and then pull the letters apart, then you do want to outline it. But if you want to keep it and like maybe, you know, edit it, I don't know, then you want to keep it.
Abdullah's asking what you're working on, so maybe if people are just joining us and they don't know, you can give like a quick little overview of what the project you're working on.
Sure, yeah, thanks for saying hi, Abdul. I'm Ainsley. I work here at Adobe. I am a designer on Adobe XD, and I'm working on a side project that I'm doing for a client who is launching her own style coaching business. So I'll just zoom out. Yesterday kind of started with the client brief, the project brief, like doing a basic type stack of different type styles in that type hierarchy. Looked at how to create that, started kind of applying that, and now I'm sort of switching gears to have really tackle like the more visual side of the project, which is, well, it's all visual. But what I mean is I'm getting into like shapes and colors and applying those today to some mobile assets that she's going to use to work with her clients to kind of pull in like their style inspiration. So Diogo says, apply a white version below the outline with 10% opacity. Okay, yeah, I like that. I will try. Yeah, because you maybe picked up on a problem I was seeing, which is that over here, the outline with the burgundy is pretty readable because it just worked out that the text was going over onto a white background, but it's not working as well here because the background is dark. So I had I had it like this. And now I'm gonna Command C, Command V, which copies it in place. And I'm gonna send it backwards and then do white like you're suggesting. I think that's what you're suggesting. And sort of maybe like a little offset kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know about the white. Oh, maybe if the outline was
Maybe if it's only the outline,
white.
or is that what he was saying?
Maybe something like
Ooh.
this is kind of what.
That looks kind
Yeah. I think you suggested what, 10% opacity?
Yeah, he says to make the white subtle. I'm not sure what he means. Do you mean the outline or the inside part, the fill?
I don't know. We can try everything though. That's
Yeah.
the fun phase we're in.
Mm-hmm.
So, like that's 10%, which is
Mhm.
what Diogo was suggesting. And that does, it's true. That's a nice effect.
Val says maybe try making the outline offset on the wine-colored one white.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Kind of like this subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diogo's saying for the fill, 10 to 20%.
Okay.
Thanks for all your suggestions.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So Sydney's asking, when it comes to preparing the final files, can you use the XD artboards or do you have to export out to Illustrator?
Oh, no, you can use XD.
So you can export artboards. If you want to select certain ones, you can just select them. And if you go to File, you can export, or you can do all of them, or yeah, so you don't need to move to Illustrator, which is nice.
Yeah. I can show you really quick how to do that. So you can, of course, export this as a prototype. I think tomorrow maybe I can sort of show off prototyping features. But I bet you all are familiar with them already. And I can also just export PNGs. So here I have one artboard selected, and I just go to Export and then Selected, and then I can export it as all these different types of files, so PNG, SVG, PDF, and JPEG. Or there's an option, I think you saw, for just exporting all of the artboards.
Yeah, and also if you, like I've done this where you can do a PDF and you can select like a bunch of artboards and then it'll like order the PDF, so it's like one long file. So that's also cool if you want to use XD for like a presentation or other things. So that's why I love XD. You can pretty much do like everything on it.
Yeah. So Voodoo Val is giving some good suggestions too. Maybe try making the outline offset on the wine-colored one white, which I think I did, and keep the fill name darker. Because then you can see it on the shape and on the photo. Yeah, it's true. So maybe this one kind of like, oops. I see a question about adding rulers in XD. You know, I don't think we're adding rulers, although I know that improved guides are in the near future. That's just kind of a choice we made. To some apps have, like Illustrator, have the rulers, but guides will be, we think, what you need is like just more guidance along the edge of your artboard.
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful too.
Yeah. I'm gonna tuck in my collar because I don't like the way it looks. I feel like it.
I think it looks fine.
It's just bothering me when I look at the screen. Okay, that's better. Thanks everyone for bearing with me. Okay, I want to try a different color combo, so and different pictures. So I have one picture of Elise, and I'm going to try this other one that's really kind of like close up. Let's use another long name. Who has a long name? Maybe I'll use your last name, Oleg. Thanks, Val. So, oh yes, thanks for the outfit compliments. I wasn't fishing. It's just funny to see yourself, to be staring at myself on the screen. I'm gonna just double check that I am, still within that. So that's fun. I like this picture of Elise. I think it's really cute of her
that is cute.
and her husband on vacation. And like a different kind of outfit. So I'm really digging the cream as a background. I'm gonna try actually a different shape. Maybe sort of bring that one down. Make that cream and bring up the opacity. And then I need another long name. Hezekiah is a great one. Will I show how I moved from XD to a working design? You know, I will. I think that the Adobe Live episode right before us is going to do that for sure tomorrow, because she's mocking up an actual like web experience and is going to show the prototype. I will sort of show it, although I'm taking some liberties because I work on XD and design in XD every day, and I do kind of mock up flows all day. For me, I'm having a bit of fun using this as a tool to make a style guide. I think I won't be the best content for that.
I think yours is still really good and helpful.
Yeah, but to answer Bobby's question, I'm doing a lot of laying things out. But I could show you really quick how you might do that, because it would be a shame if you kind of didn't get that at all. Let's pretend that this is an app that is, if you click on one screen, it goes to another place. I'm in the prototype mode here. You can see there's these tabs. I'm gonna close my assets panel just to give us more screen space. So I come to the prototype mode, and you see that when you click on the artboard, you have these little nodes. And if you click and drag the nodes, you can connect them to another screen, and then you can specify which how you want that transition to be. So, and this is giving me a hint about how to preview my prototype, which is really helpful. Thank you. One thing that could be fun that I can demonstrate really quickly, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to make this the home artboard, is I want to see how auto animate works on these, because I'm using sort of this same element.
Oh, that's right.
And I think, we'll see, it could be not that exciting, but
we can try.
With auto animate, you can, it works a lot like Magic Move in Keynote, if you've ever used that to do presentations or prototypes. If it's the same element, it recognizes that, and it'll kind of smooth that transition between the two states of that element. So let's see. Actually, I will use this auto animate, and I'll make that the home. So we'll give it a whirl. Yeah, so that's, I would certainly like change this, but you can see that things are like literally animating around.
Yeah.
So hopefully that sort of showed, answered your question, Bobby, about how you can mock something up in here and then show it working. But pretend that this is sort of like an app where those things are buttons and you're clicking and it's taking you to the next place.
And then you can also share the link to your prototype that you make. And then the auto animate now works on web browsers, so you can see the animations, which is really cool. So
looks like we have 10 and a half minutes
for the submission deadline. So if you guys have been working all day on the prototypes for today's XD Daily Creative Challenge, please submit them so that Ainsley and I can review them and give you some feedback.
Yeah.
Bye, Bojana. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow.
Masrur is asking if I can play it again. Sure, one sec. So this is not mocked up to be a prototype, but just showing this as an example of auto animate as a way to bring your XD prototypes to life. So I'm just clicking and then it's taking me to the next slide, but it's like animating those differences. There you go. Roman, let's see, two questions that I'm reading at once. Roman, do I know if they'll have an Adobe Comp, Adobe XD integration anytime soon? I'm not sure. That's not something that I have heard about. Maybe check user voice. If it has a lot of upvotes, then the chances are good. And then Bobby is asking, what did lady on screen?
Am I on the right? I think I'm on the right. About importing. Sorry if you didn't hear. I was saying that there's a blue share button on the top corner. So if you have your prototype ready and you want to share that, you can click that. I think if that's what you were confused about. So you can share the prototype, or there's like an embed code if you want to put that on your portfolio website. So we can use that as well.
Okay, I see a suggestion to put the field name on top of the outline instead of behind. That's a good suggestion. Sydney, I will try that. Grab that. And then I'm guessing the idea is to put that. I don't know that I love that, but I'm glad that we tried it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it would work better with a different color combo.
Mm-hmm. Alyssa's asking if there's a way to turn off decimals in measurements, and I don't think that there is. I don't know if you know.
I don't know. You mean this,
Like,
what's
I
happening
think
over here,
that,
where
yeah.
there's decimals of pixels? Maybe in preferences. Maybe in preferences.
I think that would be a cool feature to add, if you can just like, if it'll automatically like round up. But I don't know if that would adjust things too much or make it harder. I don't know, but that would be cool. Sometimes with decimals, it's hard to get things precise.
Yeah, I know that in Illustrator you can turn on or off pixel snapping or round to the nearest pixel. So that's, I'm not so sure that that's the case in XD. So this has been really fun exploring this. I am going to make a couple of quick adjustments based on, I think what I really want to keep it to is definitely, I want it to be simpler, and I am not quite getting the outline thing right to where I love it. Maybe I need to like add some kind of just really subtle shadow. Because it just, I want it to stand out just a little bit, but not necessarily have an outline behind it. So that's like 7%. And then I'm gonna keep this, so I want everything to be kind of an analogous color palette. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is propose like 3 different options for her clients to have like a shape and their name and a photo of themselves. I still want to play more with shapes, and I just want to see kind of an example of how an outline could maybe work. Just gonna try to do something like that really quickly, but then also sort of change these to be in an analogous palette. I don't really like that. I want it to be more of this burgundy. Here I have 6, I'll make this 6 point width.
So Alyssa's also asking if XD is going to add prototyping for hovers. And I feel like that's already on the user voice site, and I feel like it has a lot of upvotes, but I don't know if you have anything.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, well, that's coming. That is coming.
Yay.
I almost want to say that it's already in there, but I think that means it's because I've been seeing that work, and it's going to be soon.
Ooh, I'm excited for that. I think that'll be really fun and take prototyping to the next level.
Yeah, I do think that's soon, because I feel like I have heard that talked about as a trigger.
Cool. So Raphael has a question for you. How do you balance the amount of time you take to explore multiple ideas and then move on?
I think that I can sort of tell when I'm not getting any further. So it's definitely, I like to iterate, as you all can see. This is a very typical process for me, is like make little changes and then keep track of that. But, and I wouldn't say I'm at this point now, and there's a lot more exploration I would like to do. But if you look at kind of my other design files, like there's a point where it's like I just don't know what else to try, and I don't feel like I'm making any more progress in pushing my design forward. So I would say that I balance it in that way. So I think these are some good explorations for the client page. I am now going to look at a page where there might be an all text slide. So I'm just going to pull down and kind of like add myself a little guidelines. So I can see kind of at a higher level what work I have.
That's a good way to stay organized
Where?
too.
Yeah. Just looking at, I almost just like this one best, and I wonder if the best thing to do would be to not so much go crazy with the color, but I'm just going to leave myself little notes here to come back to. And this is kind of what I do when I'm having a review at work, is like while people are giving me feedback, I'll kind of type in the document.
Oh, cool.
And maybe this is a matter of choosing shapes that I like better, because again, I'm going to come back and tweak these shapes, and I really like them. I think they're very representative of Elise and the work that she does. But maybe they're not the best colors for the client profile templates or Instagram story templates.
Nice. Yay. So it's actually challenge submission deadline time. So
Yay.
thank you to everyone who submitted your daily challenges. And it's time for us to review what we have. So we can switch to my screen. So this one is from Elza. Thank you so much for submitting. This looks really cool. So the theme of this daily challenge is to do a music player app. So you can see the process. So this first overall look is really nice. I like the screen. Ooh, your design system. Roboto, I love that font. Nice. You have the color palette, icons, buttons. Yeah, this looks really good. And then we have...
Okay, so going back in time, we can see the progress.
Yeah, so low fidelity prototypes. Nice. It's like a nice, clean, minimal design. I really liked it. We have playlist, album, artists. And then I think this is the screen playlist page. So if you have a playlist and you're playing your songs from that. Nice. Cool. And I like that it's similar for the album, similar layout to show like the songs on the album. And then the full view of the song. And I also like how you kind of pointed out what screen you're on by like changing the color.
Mm-hmm.
So the heart is black, so you're on this screen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, so this is just
This
different kind of ways of sorting.
The music.
Yeah.
So home screen, genres, no favorites. I like how you did the kind of stacked look, so you can like kind of swipe through your favorites.
Yeah. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a prototype?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, nice. My screen can't take the whole view, but this looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you also included the prototype of the low fidelity version as well.
What's happening down there?
Oh.
Okay. So just kind of going
Let's
through the
see.
menu. Very cool.
Yeah. Ooh.
Nice.
This is awesome. I love all the little animations too.
Cool.
Yay. Nice.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
the
thank
submission.
you. We have a user flow. Nice. I like how you laid it out. There's a lot of screens on there, so it's nice to show
Mhm.
the process and the flow. We have high fidelity. This is really cool. I like this. I don't know what it's
Mhm.
called, but
I
it
don't
looks really
either.
cool. We have a login. Yeah, this looks really good. And I like this blurred thing you did for the menu also. I
Yeah.
think it looks nice. Let's see. Ooh.
Wow. So this is the high fidelity prototype.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's so cool. Oh, and they did the dragging thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, I like that, like micro interaction with the heart. That was really cute.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is really good. I think it's a great design and awesome use of all the animations and prototyping features.
Yeah.
Cool. Whoa. There's a lot of great animations on this app, and so many screens. Ooh,
Yeah, I
that
love
looks
the
really
drag
cool.
interactions.
Yeah.
And then just the thought you've put into the architecture and the kind of user experience flows. This is really good work.
Yeah. Nice.
It's really comprehensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you put a lot of work into this. Good job. Thank you for submitting. We have one more for today. So this is from Oleg. Thank
Oh,
you
nice.
for submitting
Great.
again. Yay. So there's 13 screens. So we have home. Let's click here. Nice. Oh, drag.
Drag. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. Okay, great.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Nice.
I like this.
Yeah. I like how you said the drag. I wonder if you can, I mean, I guess if the user had the app, they would kind of know that they had to drag, but nice. November. that's cool.
Cool. So I think yesterday we had given the suggestion of making the viewport longer. So
yeah, so you could scroll.
it
Nice.
sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is sort of like a higher fidelity version of it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is looking really good. Ooh.
Very cool.
Oh, cool.
So we're using auto animate in there.
Can't drag back. Oh. Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
I wasn't expecting it to move up. That's really cool. Oh, and you can add. These are really good, like, animations here that okay, like makes it fun to add music to your playlist and kind of browse through everything. And I like this little music bar as well. Cool. You can take songs off of your list if you're not feeling them anymore.
I got you.
Nice.
Yeah, I like this a lot because I feel like it's a different architecture to a music app than I've seen before.
Me too. Yeah, it's nice that it's something different, but it's like simple enough that it makes sense and you kind of can tell what everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
Nice
Awesome job. Thank
journaling.
you for submitting again, and I'd love to see how it progresses even further throughout the challenge.
Is there another day of the challenge?
So there's 2 more days of this XD Daily Creative Challenge, and I'm not sure what the next 2 will be, but the challenges will be revealed at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So tomorrow we can head over to, it's on behance.net/daily creative challenge, so it'll be on the site we can quickly show. So this is kind of an overview of the challenge, and then you can join the Slack channel as well if you want to get even more feedback, or if you're still working on your designs, and you can submit them here. And then this is kind of an overview of every day's challenge, and there's also a template you can use to get started, which is really helpful. And then Howard is also doing streams for each day, so he's kind of giving a quick overview and kind of giving you some ideas on what to do. So that's also helpful. I would recommend watching his videos too. And then there's 2 days left. So yeah, so it's really fun. It's a great way to practice and get feedback and kind of join the XD community on Slack. Yeah, so awesome job, Oleg and Elza. Thank you for submitting.
Really good work.
Yeah, really awesome job.
Thank you all.
Yay, thank you. We can switch back to Ainsley's screen.
Oh boy. Okay, sure, yeah, let's keep going. So I now want to, I think I just have about 15 minutes, and I do want to kind of quickly get the framework for the other 2 client style profiles, which is going to be an all text slide, and then like 2 to 3 photos with space for traits. So let's say I'm taking forward this one. So I'm just going to have a colored background, and I'm going to fill it with some text, and I'm going to use my body text web. Let's see. Oops. I'm gonna make a text box and then use my Lorem Ipsum plugin from yesterday.
Yay.
Oh, it goes, the text box goes away if I don't fill it. Okay. All right, body text web, do that again. Cool. I'm going to bring back my layout grid and just kind of line it up and see how we're doing. And then make that smaller. One thing I was playing with yesterday was this having a really colorful background, and I think that I want to do that. Like, I want to see what like a kind of really rich background color looks like. Yeah. And I definitely want to kind of adhere to this, a balance where it's not all the way to the bottom, like maybe it's sort of text like this, and maybe we have maybe, let's see, just like a section header or a subtitle on the top. So yeah. So I want to maybe just really quickly like get over here and start to see the piece of the photos and traits. So that would mean me kind of setting up a grid, and I know that this one sort of has a list of I think I copied and pasted it. Yes, so this is like kind of a tip, an example of what would go on this slide. Like just different traits describing your style.
Cool. I like how you have that as an example too, so it's not just all Lorem Ipsum, so it kind of gives you a better idea of what the final design would look like.
Yeah. So, photos with traits. I'm gonna take this back to a more, well, I don't know, let's play. Oh, I like that. So let's just try adding like a grid for some photos. I want to play with our existing layout grid. I'm going to put the text over to the side for a second. And I'm also going to borrow a grid from a vertical grid from our type stack, just to start to see how that might help us create a vertical grid for these client profile pages. So if we're starting up here, I want to see how I can kind of make an interesting grid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just pulling in a few photos. I know there's another food one. I think that's... I just kind of want to show inspiration that's not necessarily clothes, but like a color palette that maybe we want.
Alice saying dragging and dropping images is so satisfying.
I know.
It is. It's so easy too.
There was something from the Pinterest board that I know I wanted to pull in that reminded me of our example. Oh no. Okay, yes. Is this idea of kind of having wine with lunch. I like that as a yeah, and just like European golden hour. Okay, so let's see, how can we improve on this? Oops. I think what I want to do is actually sort of, for now, maybe I'll keep this iteration, but I want to start to ignore the grid again. Or not really ignore the grid, but ignore the margins rather. And then start to see how the text can fit in. So this is going to need to be like a lighter color, I think, to be shown over the photos. And I think I want to play with this a lot more, but just to kind of like make some broad strokes, I'm interested if maybe we can bring back these big shapes and just see if those can help us as a background for the text. And not necessarily this black, but maybe kind of like this.
That's a good way to keep it like uniform, because you're using the same shapes all throughout. So I think that's a good idea to use that.
And so this is our body text web, but I've modified it. And I think I want to see it. I want to see like actually the sans serif, kind of playing with that. So I'm just playing with a way to have text that's readable, and now I'm kind of playing with my line height. I almost sort of missed that. What if that's like 28?
So we're almost out of time for today's live stream. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're going to be working on tomorrow for tomorrow's stream?
Yeah, so I think tomorrow I'm going to start to kind of bring all these elements together. I know one thing that's still on the list is a business card. So I want to start to make some changes to the color palette, and then also start work on the business card and see how the type stack is playing out, and then maybe make some changes in retrospect. So, and then, yeah, start to like see how it all lays out together.
Cool. I'm really excited to see that. Thank you everyone in the chat for joining us. Be sure to come back tomorrow for day 3 of UI UX Design Week. And we'll be here at 9 a.m. Pacific time starting, and we have 3 designers tomorrow. So be sure to come back, and we're doing portfolio reviews tomorrow. So I'm super excited, and we can review them and give you feedback. So if you have a portfolio you want to submit, come back tomorrow and check us out. Thank you, Ainsley, for being here again.
Thank you, Melody.
Thank you, everyone in the chat. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
See ya.